Welcome into Bombers Live. I'm your host, Brendan Miller, and today we are joined by probably the guest that I've been most excited to talk to since we've been doing this show. She is a 2019 Liberty League honorable mention and the co-chair of the Ithaca Student Athlete Advisory Committee. It is Victoria Sestito. And Victoria, I'm excited because me and you come from the same area.
Yeah, VVS RFA rival.
I love it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course, we're excited to have you on. So let's get right into things. And I kind of want to start, obviously there's an easy place to start off here, and I'm not going to touch on it for long just because you've been asked about it a million times. But you grew up in an environment that's different from a lot of people. So what was it like growing up in a house that not just where you had four brothers, but also two brothers that went on to go and play in the NHL?
Yeah, so it's pretty uncommon to hear two brothers go into the NHL from, small town Rome, New York. But growing up in that environment, my life has always been super competitive. I've always just kind of been, that girl who has four brothers and is expected to be, just overall a competitive person, but just, an athlete as well. And growing up in a small town, everybody knows who you are. You're at the grocery store and you're kind of like, oh, hey, I know you. Like, just, super common to just run into people everywhere. So just all of those experiences have definitely, made me who I am today.
Absolutely. And so you mentioned, that small town kind of attitude. And we grew up pretty much right next to one another. Our schools played
Mhm.
each other in athletics. So tell me what it's like to be an athlete that maybe didn't play in the biggest division or play against, the best competition, and what that transition is like going from that to now playing college athletics.
Yeah, so coming from Rome, we weren't, the biggest or the best schools. We were good within our leagues, within, VBS, New Hartford, those types of schools. But then when we had to play, the Syracuse schools for sectionals, we always were kind of the underdogs in those situations. And I think coming to Ithaca, having that transition where we were in the Liberty League now, you have this super competitive atmosphere. And I think even though I come from a background where my high school and club teams weren't, these amazing programs, but, my experiences and coaches I had then, were nothing short of amazing. And I think everything that I did experience in high school has led me to, being on the team here.
Yeah, so talking a little bit more about the things that you do at IC, obviously you mentioned in the beginning that you have a role as the co-chair of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. So what is your role like there, and what do you do in that co-chair?
Yeah, so I was announced co-chair last spring alongside Warren Watson, who is a junior on the football team.
Hmm.
And together we lead the general body meetings. We're made up of an executive board. Um, and basically we just, reach out to the community. We want to get the student athlete experience, how can it be better on campus? How can we work with the elementary schools in the community to reach out and kind of just overall make the Ithaca College student athletes involved and get them to be more just giving back is super important. So within our roles, we just oversee the general body, but really work with everybody, even the athletic department, to bring different aspects and different things to the campus.
Let's talk about you. You're a defender. You play in the back, so you score the occasional goal, but obviously it's not what is on the scorecard a lot of the time. How do you play individually, and obviously how do you think that growing up in a hockey house has kind of impacted that?
Yeah, so I've always been a defender or back. My time here at Ithaca has been, on the field amazing. We're obviously a super strong team. Um, our playing style is definitely, stepping to intercept the ball. Don't let the other team touch the ball. You just always want to be, one or two steps ahead of the play. And I think our coaching staff here has really like ingrained that into our, minds and how we play our playing style. Especially we work on a lot with outletting the ball within our defense, getting it up to the mids, to the, hitting big balls to the strikers to get up and score. But it's really like a full team effort. When you get scored on, it goes through 11 people on the field. It's not just one or two people. So it's really just a full team effort, and we're all on the same page constantly. And I think that's why we're so successful as a team.
I think that that concept of team is pretty important. So I wanted to ask you to expand on that a little bit, and what kind of values does that concept have on the team as a whole?
Yeah, so we're really big on, trusting each other on and off the field. And if you don't have that, you're not going to connect. My class, we're pretty big as a junior class right now. And this coming fall, we have about 9 or 10 first years. So I think as a class, it's going to be really important for us to step up and lead, to make an example for the first years so that when our class leaves next fall, they're, ready to go and prepared to, and if we hopefully, we're gonna win Liberty Leagues this year, but then they'll just be even, prepared for the next year.
Yeah, we're hoping the same thing here for you guys. But obviously, it's been a little bit difficult to come back from when COVID, kind of put a stop to your season. So, what has that return to play been like for you guys?
So this spring was really awesome to be able to compete. We were lucky enough to be able to, let alone practice a few days a week. We were able to get in some lift in the weight room, and just being with everybody was super awesome. I was grateful enough to live in Ithaca last semester, and we were fully remote. So living with teammates and still being able to, get a workout in was really awesome. But then coming back this spring and being able to be out on Higgins, and just really grinding it out. We were also lucky enough to
Hmm.
have two scrimmages this spring, one at home and one away. So just kind of getting back to normalcy in a way. Things look a little different, but it's still like it doesn't feel like we were gone for a couple months. Like we picked up right where we left off, and we're just really excited for the fall.
Yeah, and do you think that concept of team and kind of being a family plays into that as well? That easy transition for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. We, really emphasized staying connected last fall when we were all remote. And, just reaching out to a couple of teammates here and there, like checking in on them is so important. Especially, we're going to have, almost 30 people on our team this fall. So, really, just over the summer, staying connected, working out, keeping everyone accountable is huge for us.
Yeah, and this is what I'll finish off on. Because you're majoring in business administration, a concentration in finance, so obviously you have another year here at IC. But for you, what is kind of the plan for the future?
Yeah, I went back and forth a little bit. Obviously, I would love to stay and play an extra year. This team has given me, so many great opportunities, and I'm really thankful for my experiences that I've had. But I think for what I want to do, as a career in my future, I think after this fall, I will be done with field hockey. I hope that potentially in my future I could keep the sport in my life, whether it's, I don't know, coaching or refing or something, but playing wise will probably be the end after this fall.
Well, hey, that just means that Liberty League championship you're going to have to work for, right?
Yes, for sure. We're ready.
Absolutely. Well, Victoria, we really appreciate you coming on. A big thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was great.
No problem. And thank you to everyone else for tuning into this episode of Bombers Live. I've been Brendan Miller. This has been Bombers Live. Be sure to check us out on our socials at ICTV Sports 607, and go read there's some great articles on Victoria in the Ithacan and some other publications around here. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next time right here, Bombers Live Interviews.